Hey guys, so I'm going to be showing you how to do acrylic nails. This video is much more in depth than my previous ones, so stay tuned. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer them. So this is my client's previous set. She had a little bit of nail polish there still, so I'm just taking that off gently with my e-file, and this part of the video is sped up, so it's not in real-time speed, but I just sped it up so you guys could see. And I am going a little bit in reverse on these ones because this e-file is actually brand new, and you know, me being a dummy, I didn't read the instructions, so don't be like me. I am pretty experienced with an e-file, so if you're not, or if you're new to these kind of things, make sure you read the instructions and just be gentle, because I knew that I could do it in reverse, but you don't want to hurt your client, so just read the instructions, be very gentle, and it'll be okay. And here, this is in real time. And I'm pushing back the cuticle with the cuticle pusher. Again, just being very gentle. And I am going to speed it up here in a little bit. It looks a lot more rough when the speed is increased, but I'm being very gentle. And the reason we're pushing back the cuticle like this is to prepare the nail for the adherence of the product. So we have to make sure there's as little bit of dead skin as possible around the cuticle so that there's no lifting and the nails don't pop off. And now I'm just going over them again to make sure I didn't miss any pieces of dead skin. So as you can see here, there are still little pieces of dead skin here and they're like flaking off, so I'm just making sure that I get those pieces and I don't miss anything on the cuticle. And this cuticle nipper with the cuticle pusher, I actually got that set from Amazon. It was like 10 bucks, really affordable, and these products really last a long time as long as you take care of them, you clean them right. And I will make a separate video on how to clean your tools. And I also want to add that certain states do not allow you to cut the cuticle, so if you want to look it up, you can definitely check or just take some nail class if you can. I know college is expensive, but if you are able to take nail classes, I would recommend that. And here I'm taking my e-file again. The bit that I'm using for this e-file, which is that thing that you're seeing, which is etching the surface of the nail, that little tool is actually, it came with the e-file that I bought. So if you buy an e-file, usually they come with a set of these, but I'm using this to remove the shine from the nail because that's also part of the prepping process, and that's going to help the product to stick to the nail. And then I'm also going in with this, it's like a spongy file that I got with this e-file, so I love it. It's one of my favorite things now to use for prepping the nail and just removing the shine from the nail. So once that is all done, I'm taking another thinner bit to just go over a little bit more on the skin closer to the cuticle. This is a safety bit, so it will not hurt the client. It just helps to remove a little bit more. As you can see, some more of that little dead skin is starting to come off here. So I just get as close as I can to where the nail bed meets the skin. Of course, being very gentle not to hurt your client. So as you can see, I'm going in kind of a circular motion, and this helps just to get as much of that dead skin off of the cuticle as possible, just to clean it up, make it look nice, and it also helps with the product. I go in a circular motion, and I do recommend going both in reverse and forward because this helps as well to just clean up the cuticle. And once I'm done with this, I just dust off the nails, and I'll go in again to remove any excess skin. So here you want to be extra gentle, not to pull with this tool that you're using, the cuticle nipper. Instead, you'll just keep cutting, because if you pull, it could pull off the skin too much and hurt the client, and then they will feel it, and it could cause issues. So here I'm using a pH balance dehydrator. This can also be found on Amazon. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I will try to leave the link in the description. And then once you finish with the dehydrator, that's just to make sure that the nails are not too oily. You know, we do have a lot of oil on our skin, especially our hands. We use our hands for everything, so it's just better for the nail prep. And then I also go in after that with a nail primer, and this is the Mia Secret nail primer. I got it on Amazon. This is actually one of my favorite primers. So once I'm done priming the nails, I use these nail forms. You can use tips, it really does not matter, but I like the forms better because I think it's just better for me the way I like the shape of the nails to come out. There are pretty good nail tips now that are shaped the way that I like too, but I just like the forms. So I got these on Amazon as well, and it comes with a lot of those forms, so you don't have to worry about running out right away. And I'm dipping my brush in the monomer, and I just pick up a small bead like this. So you can pick up whatever size bead you prefer, but this one came out just a little bit smaller, and it's no big deal. You just have to work with what you have. Some people are more talented than others. I've gotten much better with acrylic, but it really doesn't matter. You can use as many beads as you want, whether you're really experienced or not. As many beads as you have to use, whatever gets the job done. So I'm putting it here on the nail bed, and then I push it a little bit close to the cuticle, and I'm cleaning my brush in between. So when you see me pulling the brush away from the camera, I'm wiping it on a paper towel, a dry paper towel. So I'm making sure that the bead is not too wet and not too dry. So if it's too wet, it is going to run. It's going to be very runny, and it can get too close to the cuticle, which is not good. You don't want to touch the cuticle at all. It's basically just the nail bed. There's a bigger bead right there. You can see it's a little bit dry, but it's okay, not a big deal. You work with what you got. So I'm just going in with that bead and starting to shape the nail. I'm going to say practice really does make progress. I don't say perfect because we all like a certain type of nail and we all like a certain type of shape and everything. So practice makes progress, especially with acrylic. Just keep practicing. I promise you will get it. And so another thing I like about the forms is that they have the length numbers listed on them. You can't see in this video. I'll make a separate video with all the tools that I use, but let's say your client wants the length to be at a 5 like my client did, you can just see right there is where you stop at that line. So that's what I've been doing with all the nails, and I just do that with each nail to make sure that they're the same length. And this will also help to cut down on filing time when it becomes time to prep the nail for the actual design. So I'm about to pop off the form, and you could just pop it off like that. This acrylic that I'm using is the Young Nails acrylic, and I used it with the Young Nails monomer. It is self-drying, so you don't have to use a UV lamp. It will dry after a minute or so. And then I noticed the thumb needed a little bit more support there on the arch. That's important so that the nails don't break and it doesn't hurt your client, because sometimes when our nails break it can hurt. So I added a little bit more support there. And then I'm going to just file the nails after that with a hand file to shape them. So once I finish that, I'm going in with this safety bit that I got from Young Nails, and it's one of my favorite ones. It's really, really strong. It's like a coarse bit, so the product will break down easily with this. And then if you can kind of see on the camera there, it has almost like an arch at the top, so it won't cut the skin if you get a little bit closer to the skin. And I'm doing this so I can smooth out the nail surface and make sure that it looks nice and smooth for when I lay on the polish. So now I'm going in with a smaller bit, and this one I got, I believe, from the nailartboutique.com. I can't remember 100%, but I'm pretty sure. But this one is great for getting close to the cuticle. This one is very, very safe. You can actually touch the skin with this one. Of course, not too rough, but just gently. And I'm doing this to clean up the cuticle after the product is laid on so that it looks more clean. So now I'm putting the nail polish on there. I do start near the cuticle and then I bring it forward. So just like I'm doing here, be very careful not to get on the skin. It depends which nail polish you're using, but most of the time it's just tedious to clean up the nail polish from the skin. So I just really try not to get on the skin at all. So I have my client put her nail in the UV LED lamp so that it can cure or set for about 1 or 2 minutes. I actually didn't have every single color that she wanted, so I had to mix up some of mine to make sure that I got the desired outcome, and we did. So she was very happy. I actually love this set, and it's one of my favorite ones that I've done. And I was using this Resin Decoration that I got on Amazon to mix the product on there. As you can see here, I did get a little bit of the nail polish on there, on her skin. You can just use a Q-tip to clean that up. And then I recommend curing each color or each nail in the LED lamp as soon as possible in between colors. It just helps to make sure that there's no lint that gets stuck in the color, or, you know, it helps for the beautiful color not to get messed up. One good tip that I have for hand-drawn art, even if you're not great at art, you can use your pinky for a support system, just like I am here, so that I can make sure that my hand is steady while I'm drawing the design on. And I do want to say that it's totally fine to document your progress and your learning experience. Like here, I could have made this design a lot more easy on myself, but you know, it is what it is, and it'll be better and better every time. And it actually was. On this next nail, I did but awesome. I do want to apologize in advance for some reason. I don't think there's anything so showing your progress pixelated. I don't know if it was my phone. I really love perfect or mastered their craft. It took a lot of time and effort, but she loved them, and that's all that matters. Also, when it comes to drawing lines, straight thin lines or curvy thin lines, just like when you're using eyeliner, the best brush is a long, thin one. Believe it or not, it might feel like you don't have control because it's a very long brush, but it actually makes your lines more clean. And I learned here, when it comes to circles, one strategy or one method that you can use is like I'm doing here, and just kind of drawing dots around first to outline the desired shape. And then once you finish the dots, you literally just connect the dots. I also recommend using a double-sided brush like the one that I'm using here, because if you make a mistake, you can flip it quickly and then remove that mistake with the other side of the brush that's clean, that doesn't have any nail polish on it. And so I didn't capture every single design that I drew on because it would make the video way too long, but I just top coated all of them with the Pucci's No Wipe Super Shine top coat, and then I had her cure those in the lamp for about 2 minutes for each hand. And this is the final product, so I hope you guys love this video. I hope it helps. Don't forget to add your cuticle oil at the very end. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.